Hello, superhumans. I'm Sally Knopp, and we're going to examine RJ Spina today. I will leave the link for this video in the description box below. But all this is about is how to ignite the Merlin inside of you. And I get a lot of questions as a QHHT practitioner at the end of this presentation with RJ Spina. I'm going to give you some free suggestions that you can do at home to start clearing those obstacles which lie as barriers to stop or prevent or slow down your manifesting. But for now, let's get this video rolling and pay attention to some certain key words in what he's telling you. He's telling you you need to be in a relaxed state because honestly, the universe is like a computer. You are either in resistance or non resistance. And in order to get the manifestation of your desires, you need to be in non resistance. That means you need to be in a place of lack of control. That's a hard place for a lot of us to get to, especially when we have a lot of trapped emotional energies, maybe sort of trauma energies for many of us. But I'm going to give you techniques at the end to help alleviate that. And if you need help, just don't hesitate to reach out to me at sallyknop.com. Let's get this rolling.
Creating the life that we want just with doing this, right? Making money, the doing. And by the way, overdoing is toxic masculinity, by the way. That's what toxic masculinity actually is incessant doing. Okay. All right. So it is the unification, Peter, desire, intention, and self. It's one thing, but it must be merged and tangibly felt within the resting state, not just the doing state, because the ego mind has convinced itself and has been conditioned to as well, or both really, that there has to be this excessive doingness. I want to use money. I want to make more money. I got to work like a dog. This is not true. It's nonsense. Okay. Manifestation, things are magnetically drawn onto you when you are merged with desire and intention in the self in your resting state. That's the vibration now that you are emanating 24/7. The only thing the universe can do is mirror that. That's the only thing it can do. This is why it's so important to merge this within the resting state, not just the doing state. Because if it's just the doing state, then it means that manifestation only occurs when we're in this incessant doingness, which is, like I said, toxic mass. That is not how actual manifestation works. It's not even close. Not even close. So so what Merlin would say that if you want to do real magic, the highest form of magic is desire and intention, because it's the first two steps in the order of creation. So desire and intention are much higher frequencies. They're much more powerful. So when you harness the self, when the desire and intention is born of the self, and there's complete unification with those things, and it is merged within your resting state, then you are that. And the universe will have to reflect that, because the universe can only mirror, right? If we're broadcasting that frequency, that radio station, the universe will dance to it. We create our universe, which is nested within the multiverse. It's the only shift. The outside world reflects the inner shift. The only shift we ever make is an inner shift. Ever. The kingdom of heaven lies within, does it not? There are many rooms in my Father's house, the infinite spaciousness of the I am, the frequencies and dimensions and parallel conditions that are within your consciousness, not outside of your consciousness. Self-mastery is not a target that lies outside of the self. Forget acquiring and becoming. It's an illusion. But if you have the ego mind identity rolling about whatever story you're telling yourself, I don't care what it is, you got that rolling, right? Okay, so now you got that song going, right? So what is the universe going to do? It's going to show you exactly what that is tangibly like. It'll bring all those people into your world that fits your story. I'm such a victim, whatever it is. I don't care what it is, right? So the universe will be like, okay, yeah, here you go. Because I'm going to dance with you, because that's the song, that's the frequency that you're playing. Here you go. Now, one of the mistakes that we make, and then I'll stop rambling, and then Merlin will stop rambling. One of the mistakes that we make is that We still have plenty of ego, mind, identity, frequency emanations going on. The biggest mistake I see in terms of what people think is the way, and that's just a thought, think in the way to do it is that they then start doing mantras and affirmations and all this kind of stuff, right? Okay, that's not going to work. So that's why it doesn't work. So that's like playing two songs at the same time and expecting the universe to dance to that. You got your ego, mind, identity emanation, and then you got your mantra emanation.
Now, I want to stop right there for just a second, because what he said is one of the biggest things that I see as a QHHT practitioner. Holy cow. That block manifestation for those people that I work with. And I talk about how to manifest all the time in the positive way. I've had people contact me whose lives are a complete train wreck and they say, I need to learn to manifest. I'm like, you know how to manifest. You just don't know how to manifest correctly, because you are definitely getting back what you are projecting out. Now, the biggest thing is the thought. The thought. I always go to the thought. So when he's talking about, people talk about their vision boards, their mantras, they're just sort of thinking. But what they're doing is they're thinking from a position of fear. I cannot have. They're coming from a position of lack. And so, why he's telling you the mantras don't work is because it's almost like you're just sort of sitting there envisioning the desired thing that is wanted. But you're feeling, if you don't say it enough times, if you don't visualize it enough times, the feeling that is being evoked. And what is actually happening inside the brain is that the neural network is firing into the negative space or the negative thought processes, evoking the negative emotions that will cancel out the thing that you desire. So, when you are wanting something, the thing that you hold that is desired, you have to feel happiness, joyfulness, all the positive emotions. It has to match the thought. Again, he's talking about there are two songs playing. I'm saying the same thing from a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner. If the brain is saying one thing, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, evoking the emotions, is saying something else, all you have is just disharmony and discord. Now, I said we're going to talk about some solutions for you, but I want to let this video run just a little bit longer because I think what he says is important. So pay close attention to his words. And then we're going to talk about what you can do at home for free to help clear some of this negative stuff out and reroute how you process information to get you going in a better way. So let's roll it.
Well, what is the universe going to do with that? It's going to give you mixed messages because that's what you're emanating. You're playing two songs at once. Who can dance to two songs at once? No one. So why do we expect the universe to be able to do that? It doesn't work that way. So the reason why most of us don't have our dreams, whatever they are, don't have our dreams come true is because we let our ego, mind, identity doubt that it's going to happen. So then the energy starts going in this other direction. Now, your original intention, you'll never get to that fruition if your energy is not going in this direction. This is why we lead unsuccessful lives from that metaphysical perspective. It's because our energies start going in the wrong direction.
Let's talk about what he's telling you there. And again, I'll leave the link for that full video in the description box below. It is well worth going through and listening to what he's telling you. But at the end of the day, if you want to boil away that flowery language, just give me the bottom line. The bottom line is the thought and the feeling have to match. But sometimes you have, well, all the time, almost all the time, you have trapped emotional energy. And that can throw off the electromagnetic flow. Now, what do you do when that takes place? It is hard to get rid of trapped emotional energy if you don't process it correctly. Now, RJ Spina does have a book on supercharge your healing. Maybe pick that book up, read it. He has a lot of really good information that has transformed a lot of lives. So you could maybe get that. But you can also start applying some techniques right there, right now, where you are. And I would suggest that you remember the EFT. So that's the tapping. And you can go, I recommend Julia Schiffman. If I can think about it, I'll leave that video's or her channel in the description box below as well. But where she's tapping on the meridian lines doing EFT, I can hardly remember all that. That gets a little confusing for me. But I can tell you that it's absolutely worked. And I used to be helping my clients learn how to do EFT tapping, doing an upgraded method. And it actually came to me by a Butler University professor recently retired. And she told me that the EFT, we are so far beyond that. We brain mapped it, which was kind of fun and exciting. And at the time, I had sciatica. And she said, you don't have to remember all the meridian points. What you need to do is just take a moment, take a deep breath, and focus on the area that is causing pain. Or if you are trouble manifesting, say you have anxiety, which is really fear, you focus on that fear. You just take a few moments, you take in some deep breaths, because those deep breaths actually calm the autonomic nervous system. So you pull in through your nose, hold, and then exhale through your mouth. And I usually recommend, or I've told my clients, breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, and exhale. And I do that 3 times. And again, that calms down the autonomic nervous system. And if you want to pull up Julia Schiffman, say you have anxiety, then pull up her anxiety video on how to release that. Now, you may have to go through that session more than one time. Usually, when people have anxiety, it is very, very thick. And so you'll need to go through probably 3 to 4 times before you feel a drastic decline in the level. So what she's going to tell you is sort of feel my anxiety's at maybe a 10, or my sciatic pain is really hurting. You focus in on the thing that is causing the disruption, either the pain or the negative emotion. Then you place your hands between, let's see if I can adjust that. You go like this. You have your hands on your upper arms, so between your shoulder and your elbow. And then you begin to alternate tapping. And so, for example, if I had pain, I would say, with all this pain in my hip, I love and accept myself as I am. Now, this is how EFT works. And you go through the mantra, and if you're working with Julia Schiffman and you're working on an emotion, you simply can do the same thing. Instead of hitting the meridian points, you use the tapping, just as I'm doing now, just as the Butler University professor told me to do. And what you're doing is that you're highlighting the area in the brain where this information is stored, whether it is the emotion or if it's the pain. You're highlighting the area by focusing on the anxiety or the hip pain, constantly tapping alternately your upper arms. Now you are crossing your arms because it's important to cross the nervous system. And you're stimulating this side of the body and this side of the body. So it is important, because what she told me, that is rerouting the neural network of the brain. And then once you go through, let's just say all this pain in my hip, I love and accept myself as I am. Now I will say that about 3-4 times. And even though I have all this hip pain, I love and accept myself. So first, focus on the undesired emotion, the undesired pain. So let me start again. I'll try to go through it real quick. And so that way you have it to go with. We'll go with hip pain, or you can do anxiety. Those are usually the 2 heaviest ones that I get. All this hip pain, all this pain that I feel, I love and accept myself as I am. All this pain, all this hip pain, or all this anxiety that I feel. I love and accept myself as I am. And I'll just say that 3, 4 times, whatever it is, whatever emotion, whatever pain. Then I'll say, even though I have all this pain, I love and accept myself as I am. And even though I have all this anxiety, I am okay. Even though I have all this anxiety, I am okay. I am safe. I am loved. And you go through it. So again, Julia Schiffman has some wonderful verbiage. Just follow her verbiage on the emotion, and you can do the same with pain. Even though I have all this hip pain, I love and accept myself as I am. And you just keep going. All this pain, I still love myself. And then you begin to identify a little bit further. Even though I have all this pain, all this anxiety, I love and accept myself as I am. You're programming the subconscious mind to accept that you are dealing with something. You're taking your subconscious mind out of resistance and taking your subconscious to acceptance. You're accepting it. Now, if I have hip pain, even though I have all this hip pain, it no longer serves me. All this hip pain no longer serves me. All this anxiety no longer serves me. All this anxiety no longer serves me. I've learned I must take care of myself. I've learned I can bring all my misalignments into full alignment now. I can let go of all this pain. I can let go of all this anxiety, whatever that undesired is. You are taking it and you are allowing it to leave. So you're taking your subconscious out of resistance to acceptance, understanding it's a lesson to be learned, that you need to take better care of yourself. And because it's no longer needed, I now release it. I release all the anxiety. I release all the anxiety to God. I release all the anxiety to the universe. I release all the pain. And then you can also bring in, if you have a misalignment, the other thing that you can do is, especially for those of you who are Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, go to your God source energy. And through the power and authority of God, I command all misalignments come into full and complete alignment now. Through the power and authority of God, I command all my misalignments, or my misalignment in my hip, or my misalignment wherever it is. Make sure you state it comes into full and complete alignment now. So you can do it that way too. It's very simple. You are identifying what is going on, you're isolating it, you're paying attention to it, whether it's the pain or the anxiety, you're accepting it, you're telling yourself you're okay with it, and then you're telling, I must take better care of myself. The message I need to understand is I need to take better care of myself. This pain, this anxiety no longer has any power over me. It no longer serves me. I release it now. I release it now. Now, usually this takes about 7 to 8 minutes. And sometimes you need to go back over. So say your anxiety was at a 10 and you did the tapping sensation like I told you, and you go through the verbiage. And again, go to Julia Schiff and she'll walk you through the exact verbiage you need. It doesn't matter. You just have to get close. So all you're basically doing in this is highlighting the area of the brain where the pain or the anxiety is stored, and you're rerouting it to the other area of the brain where it can deal with it. You are, as Dolores would say, becoming aware of it, becoming responsible for it, and understanding you need to take better care of yourself. And therefore, if it no longer serves you, you can release it, let it go. Or you can also, through the power and authority of God, I command my misalignments come into full and complete alignment now. So now I do understand that this works, and it does really well for a little while, but you now have a tool in your arsenal that you can use whenever you want to clear any trapped emotional energy that you are experiencing in the moment. And, or if you have any misalignments or any pain, you can also dissipate all that pain in this action. Again, you don't have to hit the meridian points like Julia Schiffman does. Just take advice from my professor. Cross your arms, tap alternately, and follow the verbiage. It's easy. You'll learn how to do it. Just remember, all you're doing is identifying that you have it, accepting you have it. You love yourself even though you have it, whatever that is, pain or emotional upset. And you are now ready to release it because it no longer serves you. And you promise yourself to take better care of yourself. It really comes into 3 parts, maybe 4, but it's that easy. And you will find that your anxiety, your worries will begin to drop. And so you may go from, my anxiety was at a 10 before I started, and now it's down to an 8. Well, just go through it one more time. Keep doing the 3 to 7 minute session until it's all the way down to 0 or where you can sleep at night. Now, because we are multidimensional healers and we hold our information in the multidimensional space, if you still need help, and you need your blueprint energetic field cleared, your consciousness, your subconsciousness, your karma cleared. Now, that's the old karma that no longer serves. We also look at form and function, and we also look at all 7 bodies. Now, all the 7 bodies, I have to look at my notes, are the ethereal, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and atmic. So we're looking at all those things too. I said looking at all those things too. So we'll get all those energies cleared in your mind, your body, your spirit complex. But you have a tool that will help you get through, and maybe you can probably clear out the rest of those energies using that energy. Now, I was able to use tapping, and I was able to clear a lot of energies too. It took me, it depends on what I was dealing with, but my anxiety was quite high. And as I found out, it was in the multidimensional space. But where I was holding it in my physical body, it did go away. But I also had trapped emotional energy in the mental body as well as the spiritual body. So believe it or not, and the astral body, I mean, I had it everywhere. So a little bit of carryover, and some of it was ancestral stuff. So yeah, we had a lot going on here in this physical form. But you can also reach out to RJ Spina, take a look at his book. That can help you. But if you need help, remember, I'm here. And if you aren't real sure if energy healing is right for you, remember, I got a deal out there, $25 for 25 minutes. Go to sallyknop.com. But if you're not me, go to somebody like me. You don't have to suffer, and you are superhuman. Let's get started. Go out there and start igniting the superhuman in you, and start by dissolving those clouds. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, visit sallyknop.com, go to my homepage, and learn what I'm talking about right there. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Please give it a thumbs up, and that will help other people who are suffering find these videos that give tips freely on how they can help themselves. Thanks for watching.